empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless, like water. Now you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. You put water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle. You put it in a teapot, it becomes the teapot. Now water can flow or it can crash. Be water, my friend.
Bruce Lee was born in San Francisco, California in 1940. His father, Lee Hoi-chun, was a famous Cantonese opera singer and actor, and his mother, Grace Ho, was a socialite. Lee's parents moved back to Hong Kong when he was just a few months old, where he would spend most of his childhood. As a child, Lee began appearing in films alongside his father, which sparked his interest in acting. However, it wasn't until he was introduced to the martial arts that he found his true passion. Lee started learning Wing Chun, a traditional Chinese martial art, from his instructor, Yip Man, at the age of 13.
I am Shannon Lee. My father was Bruce Lee, and my brother was Brandon Lee. And I am, I guess these days, the steward of the Lee legacy. My father studied under Yip Man in Wing Chun in Hong Kong, and he came to him as a student when he was 13, and he trained with him from the age of 13 to 18. My father was not actually 100% Chinese. Discovered by a number of the students that he was not 100% Chinese, and they sought to kick him out of the school. And it was at a time, you know, in Yip Man's teaching when he couldn't afford to lose all of his students over this sort of a thing. So my father did leave the school. However, Yip Man continued to teach him separately. And also a number of his senior instructors, he allowed them to continue to train him privately as well.
As Lee became more skilled in Wing Chun, he began to incorporate other martial arts styles into his training. He studied various forms of martial arts, including boxing, fencing, and judo. By the time he was 18 in 1958, Lee had already won the Hong Kong Schools Boxing Championship. In 1959, Lee moved to the United States to study at the University of Washington, where he would later major in philosophy. He continued to teach martial arts while in college and even opened his own school in Seattle. During this time, Lee developed his own style of martial arts, which he called Jeet Kune Do. He believed that martial arts should be practical and effective in real-life situations, rather than just for show. In the following years, Lee continued to teach martial arts and appeared in several films, including Enter the Dragon, which would become his most famous movie. Lee's influence on the martial arts world cannot be overstated, and his legacy continues to inspire martial artists today.
People will talk about Bruce Lee forever because of what he, not just what he did, which was amazing, not just because of his style, which was amazing. It's because of what he stood for and what he symbolized.
So deep, so deep. I mean, the things us martial artists draw from today, he came up with a lot of that stuff. Like, where do you come up with this stuff?
Bruce Lee is the man. Bruce Lee is the reason why most of these guys are in mixed martial arts. I mean, he's the first guy that actually got to be, you know, thought of as, you know, the baddest dude in the world.
You know, it just makes you feel powerless because no one's going to be like Bruce Lee, no matter how much you study or how much you know or how much you strive to be that type of person. He's just a truly extraordinary, one-of-a-kind individual.
I joke for my brothers all the time. I'm Bruce Lee. I love Bruce Lee. The Bruce Lee. I'm watching the techniques, the Bruce Lee. The same times, I change my techniques for similar to Bruce Lee. All the time, the Bruce Lee talking. You what? As me, the same. Water sometimes strong, sometimes legs. That's it.
Bruce Lee was not only a legendary martial artist but also an influential figure in Hollywood and pop culture. Despite facing racism and discrimination, Lee broke down barriers and paved the way for Asian representation in mainstream media.
When he was in Hollywood, he was too Chinese, and when he was in Hong Kong making films, they would say, oh, that Bruce Lee is too westernized, you know. And so there was this sort of constant struggle, but because of that, I think he developed very early on this understanding that he had to rely on himself, and he had to hone himself.
In 1966, Lee was offered a role in the TV series The Green Hornet as Kato, the sidekick to the title character.
What now? That's up to Jimmy.
This was a significant moment for Lee, as it was his first shot at a big American role. Though the show was short-lived, Lee's performance as Kato gained him a loyal following and caught the attention of Hollywood. Lee's biggest break came when he was cast in the Warner Brothers film Enter the Dragon in 1973.
Odds don't hit back.
The film was a massive success, becoming one of the highest-grossing films of the year and cementing Lee's status as a martial arts icon. Sadly, Lee passed away just days before the film's premiere in Hong Kong, and just weeks before release in America, leaving audiences devastated at the loss of such a talented and charismatic performer. Despite his tragically short career, Lee's impact on Hollywood and pop culture is undeniable. His influence can be seen in everything from action films to music to fashion. In the years since his passing, Lee has become a symbol of Asian American pride and a role model for aspiring martial artists around the world. Bruce Lee, one of the most influential martial artists of all time, passed away on July 20, 1973, at the young age of 32. Lee's death was a shock to his fans all around the world, and many still speculate about the cause of his untimely demise. On July 20, 1973, Bruce Lee was in Hong Kong to work on a new film project, Game of Death. Later that day, he had met with film producer Raymond Chow to discuss the movie at Betty Ting Pei's house. According to reports, Lee complained of a headache and took a prescription painkiller, Equagesic, before going to bed. Later, Lee was found by Betty Ting Pei unresponsive. He was rushed to the hospital, but doctors were unable to revive him. His official cause of death was listed as cerebral edema, or swelling of the brain.
We talked about the movie script. Bruce then complained he had a headache. I gave him a painkiller. He then went into my bedroom and rested. I turned off my room's light and let him to have a good sleep. After that, I couldn't wake him up. Then I telephoned the doctor. He was already in coma.
The mysterious death of a true action hero. Who or what killed the one, the only, Bruce Lee?
Lee's sudden death sparked many theories and controversies. Some speculated that he was poisoned or that he was murdered by triad gangsters, while others claimed he was the victim of an ancient Chinese curse. Despite these theories, there is no concrete evidence to support them, and Lee's official cause of death remains cerebral edema. However, the circumstances surrounding his death have fueled numerous conspiracies and rumors over the years. Bruce Lee's life may have been tragically short, but his impact on martial arts and popular culture has been nothing short of legendary. In this chapter, we will explore the lasting legacy of Bruce Lee and how his contributions have inspired countless individuals around the world. Bruce Lee was a true innovator in the world of martial arts, blending together elements of different styles to create his own unique approach. His philosophy of Jeet Kune Do emphasized efficiency, directness, and simplicity, and it quickly gained popularity among martial arts enthusiasts. Even after his death, Bruce Lee's influence continued to spread throughout the world. His films and performances inspired countless individuals to take up martial arts, and he became an icon in popular culture. Beyond martial arts, Bruce Lee's legacy has also influenced other areas of society. His commitment to physical fitness and mental discipline inspire members of the fitness industry, and his philosophy of self-improvement has been adopted by individuals in various fields, from business to the arts. One of Bruce Lee's most lasting legacies has been his impact on the representation of Asian Americans in media. He broke barriers by becoming one of the first Asian actors to play leading roles in Hollywood, and he helped to shift the perception of Asian Americans from stereotypes to multidimensional characters. In the years since his passing, Bruce Lee's influence has only continued to grow. He has become a symbol of perseverance, discipline, and self-mastery, and his contributions to martial arts and popular culture will always be remembered as a true testament to his greatness. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't.
Bruce Lee had an awesome philosophy about life, and he blew me away. Bruce Lee's a killer. You hurt your man, you do as much damage as you can, and you get out. You know what I mean? Without being hurt. Less damage on yourself as possible. You should have so much respect for his philosophy. His philosophy is like the ultimate warrior philosophy.
He will compete in the UFC today. He will be as skilled as any UFC fighter with his talent.
I've no doubt he would have been world champion in MMA, no doubt. He's fluid, he's loose, he's fast. His movement is fluid, it's efficient, it's functional. So many guys are addicted to strength and conditioning and just get bulked up and stiff and slow, and Bruce was free. His body was nimble.